Okay.
Hello and welcome to yet another edition of my opinion on Clevenard TV. My name is Franca Idemudia. Like always, I'd like to remind you to keep signing up on www.clevenard.com. Like you know, Clevenard TV is in diaspora and it's an online television service. We are created to bring the African back home and the diaspora together to celebrate and appreciate their achievements. So it is very, very important that you sign up now. Thank you. All right. My guest this afternoon is Mr. Lawal Ayoola, and he's a politician going for the House of Rep in Lagos, Nigeria. We'll be discussing his vision for his Ifako Ijaiye constituency. Mr. Ayoola, you're welcome to my opinion.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Franca.
Yeah, it's good to have you on board.
Same here. Thank you.
All right, so we'll start with this. Could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, my name is Lawal Ayoola, the managing partner of LRA Consulting, as well as People's Redemption Party candidate for the upcoming 2023 election. That is the PRP House of Representative candidate for the 2023 election.
All right, we're discussing your vision for your constituency. But before we get to that, we're going to take the entire concept from the top. Okay, because without Nigeria, there will be no Ifako Ijaiye. So let's start with Nigeria. Okay? Now, in 2 days from now, we'll be celebrating our 62nd independence anniversary. Can you illustrate this for us? How well have we fared as a country? Have we been truly independent?
Oh, wow. I would say we are independent. We've been independent. However, we have not grown to be the person we're supposed to be, or the nation we're supposed to be. We are still a country, not a nation yet. And it's an ongoing thing. And I believe we will grow to be a nation one day, and we will be where we're supposed to be one day. Thank you.
Yeah, I like what you said, but do you think a better Nigeria is possible?
We all live on hope. If there is no hope, there is no life. And even the existence of life itself is hope. Well, I'm quite optimistic that a better Nigeria is possible. It might not be in our own generation, but no matter what, a greater Nigeria is quite possible. And it could also be indeed our own generation if we pull together and we're determined that we want it to be where it should be. Few of us could do it. We just need a kind of a movement, a united front, in which I'm seeing in the horizon now. Gradually is coming, and that is one of the reasons I'm very optimistic that one day we shall be there.
So, you know, when we talk about hope, it's good to have hope about something, but even the Holy Bible says, let's say the Holy Books now, we say that hope without faith without work itself is dead. So when we are working towards a better Nigeria, what are those things that needs to be put in place? What should we all be doing to make sure we experience that better Nigeria, in your own view?
Well, from my own perspective, I think what we need to do is, the first thing is, we need to think Nigeria first. We need to think about a better Nigeria for not just ourselves as an individual, but for our children. And it's not on the individualistic nature. It has to be a collective. If we develop that habit or that concept of patriotism, that Nigeria first, I think that is the first step to start with. And secondly, the reintroduction of history, genuine one, being taught in the right approach, taking the right approach, and telling the truth of the history, where the country has been, where we are now, and where we could be in the future. I think those are the first things, those are the major steps we need to take forward before we start talking about values that we need to reintroduce, and the candidness and the togetherness. Like when we were growing up, there was something that we used to, that it takes a village to raise a child. It was indeed, but now it has changed. However, those could be reintroduced, starting from homes. I think if we could get those building blocks right, yeah, the future is so bright, brighter than the star we could imagine. Thank you.
So that we'll be hearing on the concept of change. Okay, what you just explained, I could decipher that what you're trying to say is change, individual change, and all that. And we've heard the concept of change over and over again. Now, when you talk about change, okay, when you talk about change, who is that concept for? Who is supposed to change? And then who is supposed to initiate a change in any given society?
From our own perspective, you said change, you had it over and over again. But basically, we've been airing it in a political, it has been a rhetoric, idea that politicians have been using to capture people. Because we all know that change is life itself. It's part of life. And it has been that the only thing that is ever constant in life is change, whether for good or for bad. Unfortunately, the politicians have been selling the change of positivity, but at the end of the day, in their mind, what we have been getting is far beyond what they have promised. Initiating the change is like, look in the mirror. Who do you see in the mirror? That is where the change begins. The change starts from home. The father, the mother, the house, the community. Because we are the one that make up the society. Then the role we've given to our spiritual leaders, the religious leaders. Because those are the principles, the values by which we tend to believe we are living on, because it comes before our constitution. Then again, we talk of the government, which is key. And the government is to checkmate, basically, the entire society to ensure that everything, the rules and the policy that the society has agreed to live by should be maintained and improved upon. But unfortunately, where there is no law, where there is no rule, where there is no enforcement of law, what do you get? Exactly what we all are witnessing in our country today. That means that, in a nutshell, the change begins with us, you and I. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Now, let me ask this question. When we are talking about change, what is the average Nigerian expected to do?
Well, I'll tell you, in my own perspective, what someone like me expects an average Nigerian to do is to checkmate their leaders, is to speak up, is to give themselves a voice, rather than being selfish and being inward. Oh, it doesn't concern me as long as I'm all right, you know. But what we think is often personal. We think it's personal, it's often a general thing. For instance, what is happening, the insecurity we're having in the country now, majorly started in the Northeast. You know, it might have started in different areas, but the one that we really, you know what I'm saying, we really like kind of put the check into, like the tipping point, it was that of the Chibo girls. We made it a flagship thing. Everybody prepared. We came back and it's okay. If this happened, it doesn't. Isn't that not? I could recall I was on certain platforms when we talk about this. Even the Northerner themselves, they say, "Oh, your anti-Buhari administration, your anti-Buhari this, your anti-Buhari that." Despite the fact that I was a leader, the party, I said, "Oh, things are not going well. More needed to be done here." But our selfishness led us to this. And on this platform now, several platforms, some of them cannot talk again. Because now it's now affecting all of us, wherever we are on this planet. Whether you are in Nigeria, you are in diaspora, we are in the same boat. Because those in the diaspora are afraid to come home. Those at home are not finding it easy. They're always safe. But if we believe what touches one person affects us all, I think it could have been much addressed now than the way it is. That is my own perspective on that issue.
When you talk about change of as an individual now, do we have a government role? Are there roles that the government are supposed to play in implementing this change? And if there are, what are they? Can you just speak on it?
Well, it depends on what we're talking about. As long a country has a constitution, there are rules and regulations you have to live by. And if those rules or regulations are broken by individual or collective group, there's supposed to be a rule of law in such a land and justice being delivered. But what we are seeing today is always like no justice. Everybody is doing whatever they like. The people that we have entrusted our power on to lead and guide, everybody just doing what they like. And it's just like we are in a lawless society. The judiciary is messed up. The legislative is nothing to talk about. The ultimate leader, the executive is something else. All the arms of government are broken. That is why you and I today were complaining that we need a new breed of leaders. The past leaders have failed us. Those people we tend to know we really experience. We're not talking of the Ayoola period. Even the one that failed us are always talking of Ayoola, Zik and that. But what have they really done? That is the issue. The government, they are the one that set up the police, and everywhere in the world, they are meant to enforce. Enforce the rule of law. The judiciary will give the law the right justice. But what do we have today when they are even underpaid? They are take-home pay for the people that we expected to deliver the justice. It's not enough to take them home. That is why anybody with means can easily influence them because they have the children, their family, their lifestyle is in the same country. They go to the same market, they go to the same school. But people look at them as people that, they have everything. They have to maintain that lifestyle. but it's all fake. That is one of the reasons it's hard to get justice in the country. And where there's no justice, come on, what are we talking about? It's all about financial bargaining of everything. It's not a moral bargaining. Now it's financial. It's about the financial muscularity. You can do things and get away with it. Even people that are being convicted by this law, the federal government, the key power will just look at them at a certain period and give them pardon. Then everybody can just, okay, I can do what I like. Because some people you are seeing people that are doing it and they are going scot-free. Well, you look at it, why can't I do that too? Now you can slap a policeman with $100 and he will smile. You slap him with $100. Maybe it's a joke or whatever, but what we are saying now depicts such. Thank you.
All right, we'll bring it down to capital flight in terms of Nigeria being a consumer economy, okay? Importing most of the things we have, even the thing that should be done, what we got in this country, we're not really taking note of that, but having preference for importation. What is the place of the government in this?
Well, that is quite simple. It has been done over years in many developed countries. Government is supposed to regulate whatever. They are there to take care. The major job of a country, of a government is, and in power is the welfare and the security of the citizen. That is key. And when you're talking of the welfare, that is where the issue of this economy comes in. Just raise the tax on those things they are bringing in, that it will not be easy to be affordable by the common people. Don't tell people not to raise their money. The money, the higher they raise whatever the import, when you raise the tax, it will be expensive. And then when the alternative, people will rather go for the alternatives than to go for the expensive thing. Now it's only the few can be able to go for the expensive. At the same time, you are taxing them high. The money is coming back to the society. Let them go for it. It will come back to the society. But when you are not taxing them, or you are evading tax, they are not paying, the income tax they are paying on it is low. The duty they are paying on it is low. All this, they can easily do whatever. But once we increase the import duty on such product, it will discourage people to even go for it. And at the same time, you invest, you support the local production, so that what they are not getting internationally, they will get it locally. And when they are available, desirable is not available, available becomes desirable.
It is desirable.
It's quite simple. But unfortunately, we have this mentality of a white man or something imported is the best. Thereby, we are also inferior in ourselves. It's the level of inferiority. Just see people in suits, in ties, and all that, nice clothes and all that. You know what I'm saying? Their inferiority complex is one of the issues is complex. Inferiority complex. They believe what a white man does is better than their own. That is why in our society, we brought these people to the country. We employ. We bring them in. When you get to certain places, they give them more honor. They address them even, the way they address them, they give them more privilege. They give them more, all this. It's quite degrading, across the board. I'm very sorry to say that. Our people, you just see them, the people of power, they lack self-confidence.
Yeah, seriously. Now you've talked about granting power to internal investors. Okay. Now we've seen that played out itself, because a couple of years back we were like, okay, let Nigeria start producing his own rice and then some other product right in Nigeria here. But we discovered at the end of the day, things that are even produced in Nigeria, they are way higher than when we were importing those things. So why is it like that?
Well, there's a lot of factors in that. Because one is expensive to produce locally than to import. You know, the cost of electricity, of powering the machines and resources they use. You know, if anyone that is involved in that will have the better understanding. And all this, when you are doing them locally, the overhead cost, you provide your electricity, you buy diesel, the road, nearly everything that is needed, the water and all that is needed is not really available. You have to produce them yourself, especially the cost of power supply. The diesel that you consume, you have to utilize. And when you talk of importing, when the cost, because it's a mass produce, you bring in. When you bring a mass produce in and you are paying less import duty, and some are even getting waivers. When they flood the market, you have enough of them to flood the market. There's no way, you get what I'm saying, the cost. Because when you look at the overhead cost of internal production, is even cheaper to bring in a product. What will you do? I would rather go out and bring in the product and even tell the people, especially the China, you can go to China, not Europe. You can go to China to tell them the specification you want. They even give you, oh, you are from Nigeria. This will sell more. It's a mass produce. And you bring a mass produce in, you already settled the custom officers in the form that your product doesn't enter demurrage. And they have a way they even cut costs for you and all that. Even if they don't cut costs, when the government have made it more easy for them to come in, and the cost of bringing, when you calculate your cost, the entire cost of operation, which is less than what is in, you would rather leave this and go out and import. That is what most companies are doing now. And there are several ways, a lot of ways. We don't need to flood that here. A lot of ways that government, they know themselves, they could do this to get our economy rolling. But when you don't get the right square in the right hole, what do you get? And there's no patriotism in our people. They just claim just by mouth, but it's not, in their ways. It's just rhetoric. And it's unfortunate. At the end of the day, we all are going to be the victim, including their children. They are sending abroad. They will not be able to come home. At their old age, they will be alone in their house, be messed up by all the people they bring in. But they cannot come out. They will not be able to come out. Some of them will even just die anyhow maybe by heart attack or whatever. Everybody, we are going to be a victim. But in the long run, we are going to be a victim, especially them. But if they could change their ways and look inward, that one day we're going to leave, I think we start to have a better society that we so much desire.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lawal. We'll take a short break here, and when we return, we'll go into the topic of discourse properly, which is politics. Don't go away.
Hello there. Looking for an African movie? Search no further. Clevenard African Movies TV is here for you. We are dedicated to the acceleration of African films, TV series, documentaries, and lots more. Explore our movies at home or on the go. Clevenard Movies is free to watch on Clevenard.com. Don't miss this opportunity. Hurry now. Sign up and subscribe today.
Alright, you're welcome back, and we're still with Mr. Lawal Ayoola, and we are still discussing his vision for Ifako Ijaiye constituency in Lagos State, Nigeria. All right, we'll go into politics proper, Mr. Lawal, and I want to bring it in as my next question. Okay, now you are obviously in diaspora, but you have interest in Nigeria. There could be other things that you will have gone into, but you chose politics. Why the interest in politics?
Well, I didn't choose interest in politics. I think for me, it's a passion to make things better. And this is a sector, they categorize it to be politics, and I tend to fit into it. And I think this is one of the areas I can choose to influence in a larger perspective. My country, my people, and myself, and get fulfilled. That is the reason. It's not that I decided to have interest in politics. I think even my life was built around such. When we were growing up there, okay, you got to make things better. And it has been my nature that people that know me very well, that I'm quite a person that believe in expressing myself. I always have a voice. And I just believe we're human beings, no matter your age or your position. It's a natural thing. I face you and tell you to your face. The worst you could do is to get me off and do whatever you like. That has been my way. Unfortunately, it fits into what we terms to be politics.
So what is your idea about politics? How do you do politics?
Politics is, for me, what do you mean? Can you come again, please?
Yeah, what is politics in the first place? As in a political party or someone in politics, what is expected of him or her?
Well, majorly, politics is everywhere. There are a lot of type of politics, organizational politics, transformational politics, society politics. There are different definitions, depends on the context you're talking about. But when you're talking of the issue of these political parties stuff, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's politics to me, generally, I could put it as a form of a power to influence. That's just it. You are in a position that people, but the kind of power that people entrust upon you to influence for their better good. That is politics to me.
Let's discuss. So let's use that and discuss Ifako Ijaiye, which is your own constituency. All right, you're going for House of Rep to represent these people. Okay, what is your visions and then what are your missions?
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a very good one. You see, politically, when they say politically, I think when it comes to politics and political setting within the Nigerian diaspora, I think my family have paid their price. And I'm still paying. I think I've been involved in this over years. And to God be the glory, there's a lot of belt I could talk, which the ACN, I was a national chairman of ACN, the defunct ACN in the Scandinavian countries. And also the national chairman of APC, All Progressive Congress, in the Scandinavia. That is Sweden, Finland, Norway, and Denmark. These are fantastic countries. And also a political active member of the present, so we just had the election, of the left wing, that is a social democratic party in this country. And moving forward, I decided that you have to step up your game. It's not just being leaders and leaders. There's now time for me to move back home to see how I can use the knowledge, the experience, the network I have, and living in the living and be part of a full democracy, world. Because Nigeria is not yet today, I think if we look at the democratic index, the way they've rated Nigeria is not close to half democracy. I'm now living in a full democracy in which, if you have never lived in the Nordic countries, you don't understand what full democracy is. Because the England that we are copying, the United Kingdom and the US, they are not full democracy according to the World Democracy Index. Living in a country which is purely democratic, full democracy, seeing what is not the one being taught in the classroom or that. I think there's now a need to now move back home to see how we can use it. Because what is the essence? There's little we can contribute here because it's already established. Back home is much needed. Under the APC, I went for the House of Assembly. And the way it was, I think you could Google that to see in the newspaper because I went out. It was a sham. It wasn't democracy we tend to preach. But I know in the heart of those people now, power is transcendent. It was rubbish. Rubbish. They are not private, rubbish. But moving forward, we will never give up because history has taught us over years that you keep moving. And most of the great leaders today have tried several times before, achieving their objectives. It's not new, but something got to happen. Now, based on what happened in APC, I pinched my tent. I looked, basically, when I came home, I did the research. And I realized that we've known it. This party is not really delivering the way it is. It's no longer a brand I can sell. APC has a fantastic policy pledges. But the people implementing it, they should start their conscience. We all see the Nigerians are saying if they are following. You know what I'm saying? It's not about they are not democratic. They are not democratic people. I could tell them today they know in their mind. But for someone like me, who needs nothing from them, because even building the APC, not Kobo, we contributed to it, even this year. We are giving back to the society, not. We see some of them complaining when they have issues. We went to Abuja with that were flying in and out. The money they even use, we use it for one trip. But to cut the story short, I got a ticket under a more progressive party, which was formed by the nationalists. They are patriotic and nationalists in Nigeria. Chinua Achebe, the father of modern African literature, the first labor leader that led the first labor strike, labor protest that led to even the independence of the country, with Sir Michael Imodu, Balarabe Musa, Aminu Kano, that were purely in for the Talakawas. Those are the party of the people. They are not yet, but they are not quite popular they are not popular in the West because people have used the name of all the political, I would this, I would that, but not delivering anything. People. So these are the group of nationalists that are form a party, and you can still hold down to their values. Under that party, they call it People's Redemption Party. Under that, I got the ticket at the House of Representatives, in which I believe by the special grace of God, we shall get there and be able to implement all we have learned in developed world. in a collective and a grassroots form. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We've heard stories of that nature, actually. We've heard most of our leaders now, our present leaders now, are people that have traveled to the developed world, like you said, and then even those of them have lived in diaspora. Yet when they come back here, we don't really understand, because we expect a change from there. Okay, but they still come here, and then it's like everybody is still living the normal. Okay, we are not really seeing that change in place. So what do you want the grassroots or the people of Nigeria, how do you want them to believe that now what you are actually promising them, you will deliver, being that so many other persons have promised the same thing and they've paid?
You see, in life, we are all risk takers, whether we believe it or not. Even as you are talking to me, living in your apartment or wherever you're not is a risk. But to convince them, they need to convince themselves that they are ready to listen. They need a change. That is to start with. It's unfortunate that people are not well informed. It's unfortunate. And I often get that question that you ask now, that, they have lived in diaspora, they are this, they are that, and they have not changed. They've traveled. Yes. Bring them up, let us talk. Diaspora is different from living in diaspora. Living in Nigeria is different from living in Nigeria. Most of them that you were talking about, nearly all of them, tell me they should come out and tell us when they were in diaspora which political party they belong to. One, which organization in the diaspora that is patriotic about Nigeria they belong to, and they have been doing something back home. You see, most of them took advantage of the military settings, Nadeco and all that. You know what I'm saying? And where have they even lived? Those are the questions you ask. Have they really lived in a full democracy countries? Most of them are just like average Nigerians that will come, go to work, come back home, go to parties, do other things. They have not been involved. We know all this. Go and ask. Some of them are even criminals where they were. That's why when you say, most of them are yes, they brought some of them as essays. You know what I'm saying? You are even seeing what some of them that are having their own way now. One was just even jailed yesterday in one of the essays. And some of them, they even say they live in diaspora, they are in other African countries, they come home. You know what I'm saying? It is now we are even seeing the active Nigerians getting involved. It was Nadeco they used in selling themselves. But even when we even talk about this Nadeco as an asylum scale, let us open a lot of things Nigerians don't know. How it's even working, how it works, how everything is work when you seek asylum somewhere. There's a lot. The difference is this. Some of us have been involved in this, and we have been bringing positive politically, socially back to the countries. You will see the interest is there, and we have even been demonstrating. We've been, when everything is not going out right in the country that they need international attention, we have been at the forefront. In today's Naira, I think in Norway, my team and I, we got 1.2 billion Naira. In today's Naira, that was $1.5 billion for Chibok girls. I've been involved in NGOs that have, during the national administration, what we brought home, the wheelchairs and all this. I've been involved in sport exposure for our kids. The Niger State. A lot. Is it the protest? We've been doing the calling attention of the international world to certain issues in Nigeria. We get the permit. We do it right. We are not doing it for the country. We are doing it for ourselves. We are doing it for the generation unborn because it's our country. No matter if all of us in diaspora, even some of us don't get it right anyway. Some of us in diaspora too, they think, oh, we are doing this for this, we are doing it for ourselves also. Because we get to a point, even in this diaspora we are living. I'm a living testimony. There's a gap, there's a cap you can reach. I'm in my own office now. That's not working for anybody forever. You know, there's a level you will reach. You will understand it. It's not that 9 to 5 or night jobs and all that. I'm not looking down on people that are doing it. They are earning their legitimate income. But it's more than that. You know, most of them have the resources, they live, but internally they are not happy. You know, when you talk of some of our politicians back home, bring them, let us talk. To some of us that have really lived it. Yes, let us come, let us ask them questions. You will understand that all these things you guys are saying, they are just, I don't want to even talk much about it. You know what I'm saying? Most of them that you see back home, they should go back to their records. Go back to their record, but you know, people are not even proud of what they have done in the past. We all have past. But when they come to diaspora, they just took advantage of the political settings, you know what I'm saying, and the gullible Nigerians. A lot of us are gullible. You know, oh, abroad. And when you talk of oh, they come abroad, of course they do. Some of them have children here. They come abroad, they have houses here. But the point is this: all they care about is to be able to maintain the lifestyles of their children here. They just need to get something. They just have to get enough to maintain their own lifestyle and that of their children back here. They are not at the detriment of the masses, and the masses are not asking questions. I could recall when I went for the House of Assembly, when we wanted to do the primaries, they put us together. I asked one question. This party, when last have you had an interactive with your House of Assembly, House of Rep? How much is their consistency project? How much are they even getting? How much is meant for you people? They don't. Or they just come there, they give them a bag of rice, they buy this for one, they pick, they have a way, they do selective picking. They give one of them maybe reasonable amount of money, help them do one favor or the other. They send them to Jerusalem, they give some Hajj, and they'll be promoting their names. At the end of the day, there are beggars out there. They are beggars. You know, they just package things, and you know, we know, yes, I'm fortunate to have passed through all this. I'm not talking as an outsider. I'm talking as an insider. You know? And, you know, I don't want to, like, time is coming when we tend to enlighten people more. They will start to ask questions. And that is one of my own agenda policy pledge for my constituency.
Is that right? All right. We'll actually get into that because my next question would be grassroots mobilization. Okay, but before we get to that, we'd like to take another short break. Yeah, we'll be back shortly.
Clevenard In Diaspora Television is an internet online TV service. What sets us apart is a unique combination of hit African content, first and exclusive international free movies, series, musics, news, events, documentaries, tourism, teleshopping shows, youth TV programs, and live interviews. Clevenard Diaspora Television is available throughout sub-Saharan Africa and to the diaspora markets worldwide. Take your entertainment with you wherever you go. Watch on your smartphone, tablet, laptop, smart TV, depending on your device. Watch free movies with Clevenard Movies Television. Stop searching for free movies websites and watch Clevenard Movies Television. Watch your favorite African shows anywhere at any time. Don't forget to check out our top 5 TV channels created to get you informed. TV1, Clevenard In Diaspora Television. TV2, Clevenard Youth Television. TV3, Clevenard Movies Television. TV4, Clevenard Teleshopping Television. TV5, Clevenard Tourism Television. To start watching, sign up at www.clevenard.com and follow the easy steps. Once you're done, log into the Clevenard website or app on your device, click on any one of our 5 TV channels, and hit play. We will be very satisfied and happy to welcome you to our team as one of our new business partners. Contact info@clevenard.com +34 631 279811. Website www.clevenard.com.
All right, so welcome back. We are still discussing Ifako Ijaiye in Lagos, Nigeria. All right, Mr. Lawal, your talk is mainly on developing the grassroots, the women, the children, and then the youth of your community. What plans do you have for these people?
Well, basically, the plan I have is beyond just the youth, the children, and the women. It's an holistic plan for the entire.
Introducing Clevenard More Food. Clevenard More Food is an African-based startup and fastest-growing food delivery player in Africa. At Clevenard More Food, we find solutions that redefine the food ordering and delivery space every single day. Order food from your favorite restaurants near you. Our aim is to transform the way people acquire what they eat and make food shopping easy for the general public. Help change the way people order food online and create a better and faster way to get it delivered to your doorstep. We invite every restaurant to sign up your restaurants to Clevenard More Food to enable you reach out to a larger customer base and increase your brand visibility. Download the best food delivery app now. Order from your favorite restaurants and track on the go. Download in 3 steps. App 1, Clevenard More Food, is for customers who want to order food for delivery from our app. App 2 is for Clevenard store owner. This is for restaurants who want to register their menu onto the Clevenard More Food. App 3 for Clevenard delivery staff. This app is for our delivery partners. You know what? We are always looking for pickup and delivery partners who take exceptional pride in being a hunger savior. We find solutions that redefine the food ordering and delivery space every single day. Sign up now, buy, and we deliver to your doorstep promptly. Clevenard More Food. More sales, less stress. Contact telephone +34 631 279811. info@clevenard.com or clevenard2011@gmail.com. www.clevenard.net or www.clevenard.com.
We're still with Mr. Ayoola Lawal. Before we went to the short break, we were trying to discuss your plans for the people of Ifako Ijaiye, especially the women, the youth, and the children of that locality. Let's get to hear more of it. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so I want to speak on your plans for the people of Ifako Ijaiye.
Okay. Thank you very much. We're talking about my policy pledge. Basically, my major plan is to change the face of Ifako Ijaiye Federal Constituency. Hello?
Yeah, please go ahead. I can hear you.
He said it's to change the face of Ifako federal constituency
That's what you mean.
in a very positive and inclusive way. That we further put it on the map of the world. And we want to use it as a template for development in the developing countries. That is the summary of my vision and policy agenda for Ifako Ijaiye. I mean my people.
So can you be more specific about that? Are you okay talking about that, being specific about what you really intend to put into place to make sure the women, the youth, and even the children are protected in that environment?
Well, the basic thing about them is my first policy agenda is to be the people's servant. And being the people's servant, I'll be elected to be their servant. Apart, you know that this position is beyond just Ifako Ijaiye. There are whatever laws or the policy we try to implement is for the entire country from the perspective of my people in Ifako Ijaiye. In addition to that, there are all my own vision for Ifako Ijaiye, you know what I'm saying, is one, the issue of quality education. Quality education. I will put it again, quality education. Because across the globe, across this planet Earth, the developed world, one of the key factors to that innovation and capacity building is education. And a country in which our people are not well educated to meet the demand of the present and of the future, they will always be lacking behind as we are. And they will always categorize them as developing countries. For example, in this local government that I am based and residing, we have 412 preschool and primary school. This local government being managed, I'm not talking of the private, being managed under the control of the local government, this constituency. They are public schools. And when you check out the public schools, in the population of 500,000, entire population, but Lagos State with a population of 22 million, still counting, has a public primary school of 1,013, not up to 1,015 public primary schools. We are not talking of preschool because it does not even exist. The rest, the 13,000 we have, are private schools. And how many of those private schools are certified? Less than 6,000. I went to public primary school. And we know the quality of the people, the person I have today, and some of my colleagues and people I could point to. Then this government, they are generating so much amount. But look at it. In the primary school that I attended, I have inter-house sport. My house is yellow house. I visit, I go around, I see what is happening. It's degrading. But their own children are in private schools. I will ensure that it's revamped to a quality and standard one. There are several ways in which we can do that. And that is where my international exposure and network comes in. I will be working with many communities, many governmental, local government in the diaspora to ensure the facility that is being needed will be exchanged. We get it from there. We've done it before. 1.6 million for Chibok girls. That is even the northern part of Nigeria, not to talk of my own constituency. And the next work, I attended I was under the scholarship of NOFIC and Netherlands Nigerian student alumni. We know the power of our alumni. We know the power of our alumni across the diaspora. Attended in Switzerland, attended in the UK. But even not going that far, the diaspora, the Scandinavian countries enough. Through them, I know, we will initiate that to develop all the primary schools and set them to standard and ensure that our teachers, our sisters and the mothers teaching in those schools are equipped and exposed to international ways of doing things.
It's all right. Thank you so much, Mr.
That is in terms of education. In terms of healthcare, how we ensure that we work in a way that the same principle we apply to the education will be applied to health. But health is quite expensive everywhere. But what we're going to do is also the exposure, because the key thing in health is not the structure, is the experience and the psychological mindset of the doctors, nurses, and the caregivers. And we ensure that they make it affordable and accessible to people. I have my own experience about the so-called health in the state I'm from. One of my boys in the area was sick. I could recall what happened. He had cancer. I took him to General Hospital last week in the morning. I was having a program on one of these, I was a guest on one of these TV channels in Lagos. When I took him down there in the morning, dropping there, coming back, they told us even where they put the wheelchairs wasn't opened. Even after that, in the long run, even the doctor sent him back home, someone that had cancer, and he said he's so aggressive. But I understand. Come on. At the end of the day, we lost him. May his soul rest in peace. At the same time, a friend of mine had cancer in the UK. I visited him several times in the hospital. The difference is quite like day and night. This is the kind of healthcare system they come to London, the advanced world, to enjoy. All of them, they fly out. Before you know it, they are out. But the gullible Nigerians, some of them are now victims of their own stupidity, I call it. Because there's nothing else I could call it more than that. I'm sorry to use that word. But they need to be enlightened. And we need to compare, and they will have a choice also. But I believe anybody who's ever open, our own stupidity can turn to, we can have some kind of wisdom if we are open to change. We ensure that we have affordable and accessible healthcare. And we have a structure that will be reporting, that will be exposing those people that are just being paid, they are not really doing their work. And when you talk in terms of empowerment, I want to ensure with my network to make Ifako Ijaiye an IT hub for the entire country. How many kilometers from the computers village? You know, with that already in place, and with the network I have across the globe, I recall, because I discussed this when I was in Silicon Valley of Switzerland in Zurich. We discussed this. I said, well, if you have, we have some of you who've been here, but is, they just come, this government official, they just talk that. The next thing, you don't see them again. A lot of people that are already on ground to partner with us, because the potential is enormous. The human resources is in abundance. It's just for us to do the connecting, and seal the deal appropriately to the benefit of both parties involved. Regarding the empowerment, I just want to call them short because of time. Regarding the empowerment of our women, we know who they are. Our great mothers, our great sisters. They have been the victim of the environment, and they have been the contributing factors. But the way we're going to empower them is based on their own desire and aspiration. But in whatever ways we've chosen, or we agree that they are going to be trained upon, we're going to establish a seed capital base for them with proper monitoring. It's different from when you just give people, you see, the APC government, as we did them. They just come and give you 10,000, 15,000, without even, everything is knowledge, without impacting the knowledge into these our women. Without checking balances. That is why you see most of, once any of your child or any of the family is sick, the business will go down. Because it's from the same money, they are taking all this, the resources they will use it. I recall when my father was sick, they so rest in peace. We eventually lost it. But when he was taken to the hospital, they asked us to deposit 2 million naira. Tell me.
For someone like you, that should be a small amount.
Well, to some, you might call it a small amount. You know what I'm saying? But the issue is not even the money. How many people, the issue is not about me. How many people who afford that? How many Nigerians, how much is the take-home pay of an average civil servant? Even the top level 17, even the governor himself. If not the other money that they live on. How much is it? Most of the houses they build, how many of them can? It's just if you do things properly. They don't mortgage again. It's not even when we talk, most of us we mortgage house.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Mr. Lawal, and thank you for your explanations and your plans and visions for your constituency. But I'd like to take this to last.
It's far more.
Yeah, definitely. We are far behind time, and I would like you to answer. Let's just close with this. Okay, now for every Nigerian, 2023 is just around the corner, another opportunity for us to make a choice and go to lead us for the next 4 years. Right, so now, what would you advise Nigerians, voting Nigerians, to look out for in their choice of candidates?
Well, basically, my own advice for people, most of them, the adults, they know the right thing. I'm talking of the real adults, because the certain generations don't even know what they want. But most of the adults, for the adults, I will pray for them. I will pray for them to be real with themselves, not playing the politics of tribe, not playing the politics of just stomach infrastructure. To please, for the first time, ready to be part of the change, positive change for our motherland, the future of their own children. Now, we should all put Nigeria first. And for the younger generation, I will tell them, you have no option than to do the right thing. Go and write it down. Because your life, the next 4 to 8 years depend on who you vote now. And if you put that in your life, if you are 18 years old now, or 19 years old, or 21 years old, or 20, add 8 years to it. Another thing is gone. I know your own generation is completely different. And you can make that change you want. You can kickstart the kind of life you want. In a nutshell, scrutinize each of the candidates you want to vote for. It's not just because my brother told me to do this, including me. Be bold enough to be selfish for yourself, because your future depends on it. Be bold enough to fool the fool, and be bold enough to protect your. And after the election, be bold enough to call your leaders to their shortcomings, and be humble enough to commend them when they're doing the great things. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lawal. You've been quite educated for the past 15 minutes or thereabout, but we'd like to end the program here on this note. Thank you so much for being my guest this afternoon one more time.
Oh, thank you for having me, Madam Franca. Always a pleasure talking with you. I wish to see you flesh and blood one of the days. Maybe when I come to Nigeria now, we see Madam. You are such a fantastic person. God bless you.
All right. And so, audience, thank you so much for staying tuned to the program today. But we have to draw the curtain here for today. But please don't forget to keep signing up on www.clevenard.com. Thank you so much, and see you next time.